Honorable colleagues, good morning to you, Honorable Tele. Good morning, Honorable Totetsi. Good morning, Honorable Polwane, Honorable Mailola, Honorable Peterson, Honorable Adams. Did I miss any other honorable members? Honorable Kanile, I saw a minute ago. Good morning also to our support team, Ms. Levendal, Ms. Abrams, Mr. Dumizweni, Ms. Silly, and Ms. Landu. Colleagues, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to our very first meeting of 2026. I hope you had a wonderful time with your families, with your loved ones, and in service of your constituency and communities that elected you to serve in Parliament and on this portfolio committee. 2026 will be a very busy year for all of us. It's an election year, but this portfolio committee also has got a very vast mandate, and so we've got a lot of work to do. So therefore, this morning, we are meeting to prepare ourselves as we embark next week. As you all know, we'll be traveling to Johannesburg, where we'll be conducting the interviews for the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. We will also engage in a bit of an internal workshop, and we will visit 2 schools in the Ekurhuleni area that is looking after children with disabilities. But we will be going through all of those items in a minute. Can we just, in front of us is the agenda for this morning. Baba, can I hand over to you, please, just to take us through the draft agenda, please?
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to members, yourself and colleagues. Chair, we have already done welcoming. Following the welcoming will be the adoption of the agenda. From there, I'll be presenting the amended first term 2026 first term program. And then, Chair, from there, we'll consider the NCGBVF, that is the National Council, the recruitment process of the National Council on Gender-Based Violence, where we'll be considering public comments. As we know that we have got public comments that are still open until the 31st of January, whereby people are just submitting their comments on the shortlisted candidates. And then, as already indicated, that there will be oversight visits that will be undertaken by the committee to the 2 special schools in Gauteng. So there's going to be an update on the basis of logistics and oversight plan, which will be presented by the content advisor and myself. From there, Chair will be adopting about 9 sets of the minutes, and then we're planning to close the meeting at 12. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dumizweni. Good morning also to you, Honorable Mbiko and Ms. Matthews. I hope I mentioned you as well. Colleagues, in front of you is the agenda for this morning. Please, can I ask for a mover and a seconder?
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning, Honorable Polwane.
Honorable members, our support staff, Happy New Year. Chair, I move for the adoption of the agenda for today's meeting. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Honorable Polwane moves for the adoption. Can I get a seconder, please? Honorable Tsotetsi.
Yes, thanks, Chair, and good morning to everyone on the platform. I move to second the adopted agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Thank you very much. I quickly wanted to just take colleagues through the updated first term program. There aren't many changes, but if we can just quickly flight that, Mr. Dumizweni. I want members to know exactly what we'll be doing for this term. Oh, Mr. Dumizweni, do we have any apologies before we go to the first term program while we wait for that?
Yes, Chair. We've got apologies, three apologies. One is from Honorable Shabang, Chair. She's currently attending the school program. She indicated that it's possible that she will join the meeting around 10. Then another apology, Chair, is from Honorable Mpunu. She's currently attending an oversight visit to the Portfolio Committee on Sports, Arts and Culture. And also Honorable Chauga Adonis, she submitted the medical certificate. So I doubt if she'll be able to attend as well. She has been given until today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dumisweni. Good morning, Honorable Kanile. Good morning to you as well. Colleagues, in front of you is the first term program. If we can just scroll down, there aren't many changes. It is just that we added the meeting today, which is an administrative meeting, and it won't take very long, colleagues. From there, we are then in Gauteng, and our team will speak to us about that, about our week in Gauteng. From there, colleagues, we are conducting an oversight to 2 schools. Ms. Abrams will speak to us about that. The week thereafter, we won't have a formal portfolio committee meeting because according to the current draft parliamentary program, the leadership of parliament has set aside those 2 days for members' training. Now, the week thereafter, on the 17th, we are to deliberate on our candidates, score them, and then to adopt our report, which will then be sent to the National Assembly for adoption. On the 24th, that is the meeting that has been moved up. We will have a meeting, which will be a physical meeting. Both the meeting of the 17th and of the 24th will be physical meetings. We are bringing the meeting up with the NYDA colleagues because as of today, we still have not received their annual report, which was due for us to consider last year. Also, if one looks now currently at the programs of the NYDA, it's very event-based, and so we need to urgently touch base with the NYDA. From there, we will, on the 3rd of March, we'll shortlist for the CGE. We will adopt our minutes. On Tuesday, the 17th, we'll meet with our own department, social development and basic education. We want to hear from them, firstly, about the sanitary dignity program, but also about the exclusion of learners with disabilities from the education system. From there, we'll have a meeting with our department on the 24th to deal with quarterly reports, and we will end the term with the meeting with the CGE. So there's only one small amendment, which is that we are bringing the meeting with the NYDA up to a little bit earlier. So colleagues, if you are all happy, I would like to ask if somebody can move for the adoption of the amended draft first term program, or if there are any questions, you can ask them. Okay, if there are no questions, can we take a mover for the amended program? Honorable Peterson.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members. Chair, I move for the adoption.
Thank you very much. Can we have a seconder?
Mbiko, I hereby move for the. Can you hear me? Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, honorable member.
Okay, I hereby second.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mbiko.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, Dr. Letlape. Welcome as well. Thank you very much, colleagues. So that is then the updated first term program, which you have received copies of those. I'm now going to hand over to Ms. Abrams to deal with the program for next week, the public commentary. So over to you, Ms. Abrams.
Morning, Chairperson. I'll start off with the public commentary as per the agenda, and then we'll move on to the program. So what members would have received in last week is an Excel spreadsheet, which I will share with members to give you an indication of. So what we have on the screen, members, is the online public commentary that we have received up until last week, Tuesday, the That was the 20th or the 21st, if I recall. Members would note that in last year, once you shortlisted, the names of the shortlisted candidates went up on Parliament's website. The public was then encouraged to provide any public commentary with regards to your 18 candidates you shortlisted. There were two options in which the public could comment. Either they would do the comments via the link. And as members would see, what we've done is we've numbered each comment. It gives you an indication of when the person said the comment, who the comment was in relation to which candidate, as well as the organization and the commentary itself. There were also emails that were sent. These emails are still coming in along with the public commentary. As of last week, Friday, Mvaba sent us a Word document of the emails with the comments, and there was only 5. So what we will do is once we received all the email comments, we'll include it into the full list. What we've also done, members, is highlighted in different colors so that it's a bit easier for you to see per candidate. So, for example, Ms. Ramalepe is in blue and Siswani is in green. As you note, there are quite a few comments, and as I've indicated, by the 21st at 11:25, we had received 559 comments. What members will receive by the end of this week is an updated list. So in other words, by Friday, we'd send you a list that continues after 5:59 with all the additional comments. So far, as of after the 21st, by last week Friday, we had about 15 additional comments. We'll see again by the end of this Friday what additional comments there are. The closing date, just to remind members, is midnight on Saturday the 31st. So we can only provide you with an updated list after that, in addition to the analysis. What Tasneem has kindly done for us is looked at all the commentary we received, and she did an analysis, and we'll talk to that briefly to us now. Again, members, just a reminder, the analysis will only focus on the comments to date, that is up until the 21st of January at 11:25. As Chair's noted, when we start off our interviews next week, Tuesday, we will provide an overview of the comments in its totality. But Chairperson, I'll just hand over to Tasneem now, just to highlight to members, based on these 559, what sort of commentary received in terms of overall analysis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Matthews.
I need sharing rights, please, Mbaba.
You've been granted, colleague. Thank you.
Thank you. Morning, members. As Kashva indicated, this document is specifically related to the online commentary. So what I've done, just for ease, I've tried to synthesize the commentary they made, because we've thus far received 559 comments online only. And what I'd done was I grouped the comments together. So members will see of the 559, these are the candidates that received the most to the least. Some candidates received no comments at all. Some received, as you can see, Ms. Ngumalo received 164, and then Ms. Peters received 1, for example. So for ease, I tried to synthesize some of the public commentary without members having to go through all 559. However, you will have access to all the comments. For example, this candidate, Dr. Mantebi, Mantibi received an overwhelming positive response, and her endorsements were related to her academic background, her strong leadership skills in gender justice, and she didn't receive any negative comments. Something that I should actually note, none of the candidates received any specifically negative comments. I think the one comment that could be regarded as negative was a comment made by a member of the public who spoke about all the candidates, and they were more, the comment was more related to the council itself and not the candidates. So that was one comment that was possibly could be perceived as negative. And then the other one was related to a candidate, not about their character or qualification, but about the fact that they were from the private sector, nothing about the candidate itself. So just for members, when you're looking at the public comments, just to keep that in mind, there weren't any real negative comments where somebody outrightly said this candidate is not appropriate, or they have any kind of negative characteristics that might impact on being a good council member. So what I've done is, as members can see, you can refer to the document, I've kind of grouped the comments. For example, there were 164 or 90 comments for a candidate, and I just synthesized the key kind of comments made. Some comments are like one-liners, other comments are paragraphs. So members can actually refer to the Excel spreadsheet if you want more in-depth information. But this document will give you a synthesized summary on each candidate that received comments. There were some comments made by the public, I think 6 comments that were completely unrelated to the council at all. So we do sift that out so that members don't have to look at that, but it is there. So we don't exclude any comments. But for example, somebody nominated themselves, I mean, obviously after the fact. And so, or somebody just wrote a random name, or somebody just wrote a random comment that was completely unrelated to the council itself or to the process itself. But we leave those comments in. We don't filter any comments out, but I'm telling members so you are aware of it when you go through the final list. Other than that, members, like Kashu has indicated, we still have to include some of the emails, but those are not many, and we'll obviously wait until the closing date before there's a completed document. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you so much, Ms. Matthews. I think it's really very positive that we have received so many comments, people interacting with our candidates, but not only that, that it's largely or 99% or completely in support of the people that we have shortlisted. Members, you'll be able to ask any questions after Ms. Abrams completes her presentation. So just give her some time to complete the program. So back to you, Ms. Abrams.
Thank you, Chair. I'll now go through, as Chair's requested, just to highlight. Monday up in Johannesburg, the intention for the afternoon is I'll be going through the M&E tool, so members can see what your resolutions were for 2025, and a bit of tracking in that regard. We'll take stock of what we have done, and then in terms of priorities for 2026, this is in terms of that, and the team building is where we can get input from members. We have a strat plan, we have an APP, but as Chair's noted, there are key things we need to get through. It's an election year, so we'll take guidance in that session to look at what would you further want to prioritize for the year ahead. And then just highlight matters pertaining to the interview framework. As Chair's noted, we do interviews Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We start off the morning of the interviews with an overview of the interview process. Members are reminded that all these interviews will be on the various social media platforms. Each member on the morning of the interview will receive a booklet, like we've done in the past in terms of interviews for the NYDA and the CGE. Your interview booklet per member would indicate the structured format of the interviews, the questions and some guidelines to possible answers when a candidate answers. We'll also give members that morning, as Tasneem noted, the overview of your public commentary, bearing in mind that each and every member up until that point would have received the initial Excel list. This Friday, you will receive an extended one, and after the public comments close on Sunday, thereafter, we will provide members with an updated final public commentary list. For the first day, we have 6 interviews, 7 on the second, and then 5 on the Thursday. In terms of interviews, the deliberation and the scoring, I think it's just important, as Chair's noted, the scoring, the outcomes of the scores we will discuss on the 17th of Feb, but that afternoon, there'd just be an opportunity for members to ensure that in your booklets and that you've captured all the key information, that all is contained, so that we wrap up those interviews in that regard, and then members would have time to engage with your relevant parties in terms of the outcomes of your interviews and discuss back on the 17th. When we come, so the 17th of February, that's an important day because that's when members will come with your scores. And as we've done with the NYDA and the CGE in the past, we will collate the scores and then look at your top listed candidates for recommendation. The Friday, the 6th, we will have oversight visits to 2 special schools. It's Siboneli School for the Blind and Ukuruleni School for the Deaf. These had come recommended by members and was suggested by Chairperson. Again, the draft interview schedule, 6 on the first day, 7 on the second day, and 5 on day 3. For the format for the interviews, there would be structured interviews. There'd be an opportunity for members to raise, if there was a public commentary concern or raise a question pertaining to the CV. In terms of the oversight to the special schools, the aim of the oversight is firstly to create a platform for the committee to assess the sanitary dignity program, which we know is monitored and evaluated by the department. Secondly, to visit school for children with disabilities to understand how these children are currently accommodated, to establish insights into why children are then excluded from the system. We've seen in KZN from our previous visit the challenges of waiting lists and why children often do not get into a school for various reasons. For Gauteng, again, is to gain insight into both schools to know what the waiting list is and why, how long children have been waiting and why they're not able to access. Thirdly, it was also suggested in terms of the continuation of the work on the statutory rape inquiry, the committee would also seek to understand the severity of the problem within special schools to be visited. In other words, once we've visited the 2 schools, to engage with the staff and establish are there any incidents in relation to sexual abuse for children with disabilities at these schools. So just to outline for the department, again, it's really the focus is around the sanitary dignity program to determine its effectiveness with respect to the exclusion of children with disabilities from the education system. Look at that, how would learners accommodated within the schools, look at the infrastructure, any challenges identified by the staff, and what impedes their right to education. Again, with regard to statutory rape, to establish the incidents. And in terms of the stakeholders we've invited, it's the MEC for Basic Education as well as Johannesburg Child Welfare and Childline. Chairperson has suggested that as a follow-on to our work on the statutory rape, we invite those 2 NGOs so that in the event any concerns are raised at these 2 schools in terms of where children need support, there's a possibility in which we could ask the NGOs to render that support to the school or any learners in the event that that is required. Chairperson and members, that just gives you an overview of what is planned for next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Abrams and Ms. Matthews, for that presentation and the hard work that's gone into that. Can I see if anybody would like to ask any questions of clarity to the team, or whether you are happy with the work that we will be conducting next week? Also, welcome to you, Honorable Chauke Adonis.
Chair.
Honorable Pulwane. Please proceed, Honorable Pulwane.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, let me welcome the two presentations. But my question is that can we get the information through our Gmail and the WhatsApp? Because the Parliament email sometimes now I've got a challenge with them.
Okay, that's no problem. Yeah, that's no problem. I've actually also had problems with my parliamentary email over the December period. So we'll make sure, Mr. Dumizweni, that we send all the information to members on their alternative correspondence.
Chairperson?
I do see the hand of Dr. Yes, I'll hand over to you now.
Apologies. I just wanted to apologize for coming in late. I was in the waiting room. I think I had used the wrong link, but also I just wanted to be acknowledged. I'm unable to raise my hand. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, ma'am, no problem. Our whip, I did welcome you and thank you for joining us. Dr. De Klappe, your hand is up.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to everyone, and may it be a better year. My question is in relation to the visits to the schools. Is it possible to get reports of the schools, anything, so that we have information about what the school, the size, the children, the challenges, the capacity, the size of the waiting lists, so that we basically have information that can prepare us for the schools, and just a wish list from the school, if any, so that when we get there, we can engage on those matters. Thank you, Chair.
No problem, Doc. The team will prepare that for us. In fact, Ms. Abrams did mention to me that one of those schools are actually one of the schools that were flagged by the South African Human Rights Commission at one point. So they will definitely do that research for us. Ms. Abrams, is there anything you want to add?
Thank you, Chair and Dr. Letlape. I know Crystal and Tasneem's had an initial look. Just in terms of the portal, the information there is really very, very basic. And that's on the Basic Education School portal. But Chairperson, maybe through you and the committee, if we do via Mvaba, if we can write a letter then to both schools and then just outline maybe 3 key questions in which they can respond, then ideally we can send that information to members. Today's Tuesday, so if you could get a letter out by hopefully this afternoon, and Vava can establish who we can send those letters to the 2 principals of the schools, because then we can get, as Dr. Letlape has requested, the direct information. I think the thing about the wish list is if we're going to send it, if we request the principal, he'll probably give his perspective. And I also think the actual oversight visits and engagements with educators and other staff members may probably give us different insights too. But nonetheless, we will look at one of the questions being some of the key challenges the schools currently experiencing. So if chairperson members are in agreement, we can then write to those 2 schools and then just request some basic information. Thank you.
Yes, let's do that. We'll focus on the challenges with regards to waiting list, infrastructure, etc. So we'll do that, but let's also just do additional research around if there's anything that were highlighted by the Human Rights Commission, etc., that we prepare those packs for honorable members. Colleagues, I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Dumizweni just to take us through the...
Chair, don't forget me. Apologies.
Oh, I thought you were just welcoming us to the new year.
No, Chair, I was raising my hand. Apologies.
Okay, no, it's fine, Honorable Chalke Adonis.
Thank you very much, Chair, and greetings to the honorable members. I hope they had a blessed festive season and an amazing crossover. Looking forward to a very progressive and fruitful year ahead, to the entire collective and our support staff as well. Chair, you've covered my first question, which was centered around the human rights report. I think we need to gain access to that so that we can look at what are some of the issues that were red flagged, so that it forms part of our assessment on whether they've been mitigated and resolved to date. The second one would be in terms of the basic information that we've received. I think one of the informations, or some of the information that we must have, is also looking at what is the retention rate of each school when it comes to learners, the challenges that they are faced with, and also what is the pass rate. That will also tell us whether they are receiving the necessary adequate support in order for them to ensure that learners are able to be pushed into the next level. And I think the questions that will then be going to also the principal must also be centered around whether they are beneficiaries of the sanitary dignity program and what other departments have they engaged with in the past, including provincial government as well. That will also give us an indication of what type of intervention has been made, but also what type of stakeholder engagements that they have had in the past, so that we can also perhaps, if accountability is required, bring that forward. Chair, I think in terms of the letter, I do agree with Dr. Letlape in terms of ascertaining more information, but I am also very cautious in terms of requesting a wish list. The reason why I'm cautious about asking for a wish list is that we ask for a wish list, and when we get there, we've got nothing to actually produce from that wish list, and yet we are there to do oversight. I think it's more of, if they can identify their challenges, it would be a better wording for us. And I think the same letter that is addressed to the principal must indicate that it's also extended and addressed to the SGB. So whatever it is that the principal will then be responding, it would have been also in consultation with the SGB, so that we have a consolidated response. I think that's equally important. And I do agree with you and Kashifa, in terms of we'll get more information from the educators themselves and the learners than we would from just one person's perspective, which is the principal. The second last thing, Chairperson, is that I didn't hear the mention of the MEC of Education being part of this. If I did miss it, please do correct me. I only heard the MEC of Social Development. Before I proceed, if I can be corrected, if there's a need.
No, we are inviting the MEC for Education, so that is no problem.
So they have not yet responded, though.
I'm not sure. I'm
Because
not sure.
I think what we got now, sorry, Chair, is that the MEC of Social Development is the one that has responded.
I think Baba will speak to the responses. So just give him a minute. He's going to speak to the logistics. But we'll make sure that the two MECs, or at least their officers, are present.
Yes, Chairperson, thank you very much. And I think we must extend an invite also to the relevant portfolio committees within the legislators, so that they are part of this this oversight, because they will then be left with the responsibility and the duty of implementation and doing follow-up, so that we're able to get reports also from those portfolio committees in terms of whether they've held the MECs or the officials accountable after our oversight. So I think it's quality of life that would need to extend an invite to portfolio committee, and also basic education would need to, and I think perhaps in terms of infrastructural, we'd need to look at the portfolio committee for public works, because I would think that the building goes under either the province, the basic education, or it goes under public works, if we can just check on that. The last one, Chairperson, in terms of our preparation, can we also speak to the sign language interpretations or interpreters? I think that is very important for us from the onset to make sure that that has been resolved and we do have sign language interpreters, because what we did in our last oversight, I think it was a disservice to many South Africans living with deaf or hard of hearing. And I think that must, in this meeting, be said whether we've procured those services. And I think we can engage even with the legislator of Gauteng for them to offer us the sign language interpretation services if there is a need. So I think that is very important. And that was my last point for now, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chalke Adonis. We will definitely extend those additional invitations, as you've mentioned, to the parliamentary colleagues in Gauteng. I think the issue of the sign language interpreter is really non-negotiable. I think in the last trip we did when we were doing the public hearings on statutory rape, there was some type of hiccup which led to us not having the sign language interpreter, but us being a committee that looks after the interests of persons with disabilities, it's really non-negotiable. I think, for example, an idea that I had is once we get to the school and we see, or the schools, when we talk about the wish lists, and we see, for example, that there's a shortage or no delivery of sanitary dignity to those schools, we can also always ask the NYDA to assist us with some sanitary dignity packs after our visit. But those are some of the things that we'll discuss once we are there. Good morning as well to Honourable Shabango. Thank you very much for joining us, Klonishwa. Mbaba, quickly talk to us. Over to you, Mr. Dumizweni. Thank you, honourable members, for your inputs and suggestions. I'm going to hand over to you, Mr. Dumizweni, just to speak to us about the logistics. Oh, I do see you have a point here on sign language interpreters, but over to you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'll try to be short. Chair, the first thing that I would love to indicate is that after the shortlisted meeting, we immediately informed all the candidates of the meeting outcomes. That is, that they were shortlisted. So all the letters were sent on the 5th of December last year. And fortunately, all the candidates did respond to confirm that indeed they received the letters. So after that, the candidates were given until the 8th to submit their certified documents, as we're experiencing some challenges of documents, some of them that were not clear in terms of the stamps. So we asked them to just submit other documents that could also assist our other departments like your PPS and HR to actually fast track and also expedite the process of verification and vetting. So on the 8th of January this year, the PPS sent us fingerprints forms that were immediately sent. In fact, they were sent on the same day to the candidates, so as to enable the state security agents to do some security checks, that is the vetting. So all the forms were returned and submitted to the PPS on the 12th for them to start the process of engaging with the state security agents for vetting purposes. Then the HR sent us the consent forms, because there are forms that are required by the service provider in order for them to actually conduct the verification of qualifications. So those forms were sent to candidate by HR to us on the 9th, and we immediately sent them to the candidates, and we gave the candidates until the 12th to actually submit the forms back. So on the 12th, we received about 10 forms out of 18, but others kept on coming. So we submitted all the forms that we received to HR for them to actually conduct the academic verification. So far, Chair, we haven't received anything both from the PPS, that is the Parliamentary Protection Services, that is facilitating the process of vetting, and also HR. But the follow-up was done this morning to say that they must give us their feedback. So we're still waiting for them to give us that feedback. As I've indicated on item number 5, that the follow-ups were done this morning. So in terms of the interview and oversight, the program has been shared already, the draft program with the members, which has been presented here today. We have also communicated with our internal units or departments to request different types of support. For an example, with protection services, you must have the protection staff being there, and also the sign language issues, we have sent the request to language department, to languages, to assist us with sign language interpreter. And also another thing that we have done, Chair, is that we have written to all candidates requesting them to indicate if they will need any interpretation, because sometimes you'll find that these candidates experience the issue of language barrier. But so far, those who have responded have indicated that they won't need any form of translations. So it's confirmed that the sign language will be there. We are busy communicating with languages, and they confirmed that indeed the sign language would be there. So yesterday, Chair, in the afternoon or evening, we received the approval. That is, the Chief Whip did approve our political application. So the colleagues Nomakhosa and Yolanda did submit the funding application and SNT for members to the admin unit for them for verification and quality control. I believe from there, which is expected to be done this morning, it will move to the unit manager and to other managers. Our hope is that it will still be approved maybe tomorrow or Thursday, so that we can have everything in order. That's all, Chair, that I can give. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dumizweni. I think everything looks like it is on track. And I'm very happy that we will have the sign language interpreters in place. So then we need to extend the invitations to the Gauteng legislature. We need to communicate with the principals at the schools. And as you have said...
I'm sorry on that, Chair. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Chair. We wrote to the Gauteng Department of Education. They confirmed that they received our letter. We also sent the draft program. And also to Childline, they confirmed that they received child welfare as well, our department as well. They confirmed that they received our letters. So we said that we also sent the program and also indicated that in terms of everything, we'll communicate in due course. Otherwise, the issue of the letter is noted. We'll try to check in terms of the protocol and procedure, in terms of how we write to ensure that the letters do reach the schools without time being wasted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dumizweni, and thank you for the hard work in making sure that our week in Gauteng will be a success. Colleagues, so you've heard, I've seen some icons and some emojis giving the thumbs up and giving us applause. So I'm happy that for now things seem to be on track. We've gone through our first term program. We've gone through the program for the first week in Johannesburg. We are going to do the additional research on the schools. The sign language interpreter is in place. We have made the point that in terms of logistics, members must be informed about their travel arrangements by the weekend. S&T must be in place before members leave. So, colleagues, is there anything else that you would like to ask or suggest? Mvaba, can I just get an indication if all members, if they indicated their availability to attend?
Not all of them, Chair, but I believe about 6, which I can confirm later, have already confirmed, but a follow-up will be made, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. I see the hand of Honorable Kanile.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning to you. Good morning to the colleagues and the support staff. Chair, I remember in the last meeting we had, Mr. Dumizweni indicated that I did not confirm that I'm attending. And you then said on my behalf, you are confirming. I just want to find out from him if he did confirm that I will be attending. It could have been an error on my side not to confirm, but I definitely will be attending. And secondly, Chairperson, I'd like to ask through you that when they arrange the transport, can they please try to advise them to try and maybe keep to a normal speed? Because our colleagues were attending the oversight of the basic education and one of the police vehicle overturned. So I think we do have an opportunity to be able to avoid those incidents from happening. I have seen some of the drivers driving recklessly. So I think this is something that I need to flag so that it is addressed with the drivers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kanile.
I'm not able to raise my hand.
Okay, I'll come to you in a second. I did also see that photo of the police vehicle overturning, and it's definitely because they were speeding. I'm sure most colleagues have indicated their availability because this morning we are a full house in this meeting. So that gives me comfort that members are rested, rejuvenated, and ready for the work that lies ahead. Over to you, Honourable Chauke Adonis.
Myself too.
Thank you very much,
Honourable.
Chair. Okay.
Okay,
No,
go
no.
for it.
Okay.
Okay.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. And I do sincerely apologize to yourself and the honourable members for not raising my hand. I'm unable to right now on this device. Chairperson, I just wanted to make sure that as part of the logistic preparation, we should have a checklist, and I think Honorable Kanyile in the past has indicated, so that we know exactly who is responsible for what, so that we do not end up clustering all the responsibility, let's say, for example, to Mvava, who is not then responsible for that particular type of work, so that members have the comfort of knowing who they need to reach out to when they need additional support or anything else during this oversight. As part of that as well, I think it's also important for us to re-emphasize the importance of our support team going to all the venues ahead of time. Chair, that we cannot re-emphasize because we cannot get to a venue and still have our support team setting up when we arrive. So they should be able to make arrangements for them to arrive at least an hour ahead of time for better coordination and for them to have a group meeting to check that they've gone through all the checklists just for professional overview. The last one, Chairperson, I wanted to check if we also did send a communication out to the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, and also to the Department of Basic Education and the Department of Social Development as well. I think it's very important for us to extend an invite to them, and then they will indicate whether their ministers or representatives will be available to accompany us, especially when we're speaking about the oversight visit. That's where they are needed, but not on the interview processes. I just wanted to follow up on that. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chauke Adonis. Yeah, I think the idea is when we get together on Monday, I have asked the team to prepare for us all the relevant information that we will require. So in other words, the CV of the candidates, the booklets that we require, will have the information for our internal workshop. I did ask Mr. Dumizweni to prepare the checklist for us. So we will definitely make sure that honourable members are well equipped with all the information that you need when you arrive on Monday. And definitely our departments that you have listed have been invited, and they will indicate to us who will join us on the Friday. Good morning to you, Honourable Cele. I don't know if I've formally welcomed you before to our portfolio committee, but Mklonishwa, you are very welcome, and we also look forward to working with you in this year. I also wanted to indicate to you that from our oversight in Gauteng, I think I should move with you and Honourable Mkunu, if she's still on our committee, that we go and visit those schools in Durban that you have highlighted to us where the infrastructure issues are dire. And then we can also extend an invitation to any other member who would want to join us. But it's over to you, Honourable Cele, to make your inputs and ask your questions.
Good morning, colleagues. I'm glad to get this opportunity, but what I want to emphasize, I got my assistant here. If we are booking, I need him to be booked for the flight too, because I will be traveling with him on Monday. I will also suggest the time to be early from King Shaka to Joburg International Airport. I'm glad that because you are dealing with disabled people as myself confined to wheelchair, I'll be more assisting to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ndosi. I'll ask our committee secretary just to be in touch with you so that we make sure all the arrangements are in place for you, honourable member. So yes, very welcome to our portfolio committee, and I'm sure you will make great inputs and give us lots of guidance as we navigate this year. Mr. Dumizweni, just be in touch with Honourable Cele that we make sure the arrangements are in place for him, please. Colleagues, are there any other questions or any other inputs? I really look forward to us spending the week together. Okay, I think everybody is happy for now. That brings us to the end, honourable members, of the formal presentations to get you ready for next week. We do have quite a few sets of minutes to adopt. I would like to know whether you've gone through them, honourable member, whether you want to adopt them now or whether you want to adopt them when we are in Johannesburg on Thursday when we complete the interviews. So just want an indication if you've been able to go through them. Honourable Chalke Adonis and Honourable Kanile.
Thank you
Are
very
you
much,
ready?
Honourable Chair. I have had an opportunity to go through them, and I think I would be ready to adopt if other members are ready as well.
Okay. Honourable Tsotetsi.
Thanks, Chair. No, I was going to say that we have went through the minutes and I think we should be prepared, should be ready to adopt.
Oh, that's wonderful, colleagues. You are starting the year on a very high note. So I'm glad to hear that. Okay, let's adopt those minutes. Okay, colleagues, this is the set of minutes from the 18th of February. We're dealing with the Sanitary Dignity Program here. It was a meeting held on Zoom. In attendance, you can see Honourable Adams, Tsotetsi, Shabango, Chalke Adonis, Kanile, Nkonto, Spies, Gaza, etc. If we have gone through the minutes, can I ask that we, and there was also Dr. Letlape, Honourable Matri, and others. Can I take a hand for someone to move for the adoption of this set of minutes? You've gone through them, honourable members. Honourable Kanile, Honourable Tsotetsi.
Thanks, Chair. I move for the adoption of these minutes.
Thank you, honourable member. Can I take a seconder? Honourable Kanile.
Thank you, Chair. I second the adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable member. The next set is a set of minutes from the 10th of June. We held a meeting on the virtual platform, colleagues. It was a meeting with the Commission for Gender Equality. We asked them to brief us about gender-based violence, their gender-based violence index. It was a report that they prepared and a report on men, masculinities and gangs. We had in attendance, as listed, Honourable Chalke Adonis, Shabango, Tsotetsi, Adams, Kanile, Spies, Peterson, Letlape, and those are the honourable members that attended. Having read these minutes, colleagues, please can I take a hand for someone to adopt and second the adoption? Honourable Peterson.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder? Honourable Kanile.
Thank you, Chair. I second the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, colleagues. Let's take the next set, please. This is a set of minutes from the 7th of October held on the virtual platform. We dealt with the Auditor General on the outcomes of our department, the Commission for Gender Equality and the NYDA. Colleagues in attendance as listed, Honourable Chalke Adonis, Shabango, Polwani, Tsotetsi, Kanile, Mbiko. And Honourable Tito Peterson. Having read the minutes, colleagues, please can I take a mover and a seconder?
Chair.
Yes, Honourable Chalke Adonis.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I move for the adoption of these minutes.
Thank you so much. A seconder, Honourable Mbiko. Okay. Can I get another seconder? Honorable Kanile.
Thank you, Chair. I second the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the next set. This is a set of minutes from the 21st of October. It was a meeting held on the virtual platform. We dealt with the CGE appointments. We received legal advice from the institution or the Office Supporting Democracy. We looked at the advertisement for the commissioner vacancies. In attendance, Honorable Chauke Aduane, Shabango Tsotetsi, Pulwani, Adams, Kanyile, Mkhunu, Dr. Letlape, and Peterson. Having read the minutes, colleagues, please can I take a hand? Honorable Tsotetsi.
Thanks, Chair. I do move for the adoption of this set of minutes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Honorable Peterson, can you
Thank
second?
you. I second.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We'll take the next set. Colleagues, this was a set of minutes from the 18th of November held on the virtual platform. The agenda items, we dealt with the overview of the applications received for the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. Members in attendance, Honorable Chauke Aduane, Shabango, Polwani, Mkhunu, Mailola, Dr. Letlape, Honorable Peterson. Having read the minutes, colleagues, please, can I take a hand for the adoption? Honorable Kanyile.
Chair, I move for the adoption of the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Can I take a seconder, please? Dr.
Chairperson.
Letlape.
Okay.
Letlape.
I second the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, Doc. Can we take the next set, please? Colleagues, this is a set of minutes of the 26th of November. It was a short meeting held on the virtual platform. We dealt with adoption of the statutory rape stakeholder engagement report. We had members of other portfolio committees present as well, but for this, for the purposes of us adopting, was Honorable Chauke Aduane, Shabango, Polwani, Adams, Kanyile, Mbiko. Can I please take a mover, Honorable Peterson?
Chair, I move for the adoption of the set of minutes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kanyile.
Thank you, Chair. I second the move to adopt the minutes.
Thank you very much. Let's take the next set. I think we are moving towards the end. Honorable Tsotetsi. Yes.
Thanks, Chair. I just want to raise something that I would have picked up. I saw that from starting from this set of minutes,
Yes.
it would have highlighted me as being absent right up until the fourth one, the 4th of December. That is incorrect, Chair, because I would have apologized. It's the period wherein I was writing exams.
Yes, I remember. Okay, colleagues, that will have to be corrected because Mr. Dumizweni, you did report to us that Honorable Tsotetsi, yeah, we'll have to move it into apologies there, please, colleagues, because it was reported to us that the Honorable Tsotetsi had academic engagements. Okay, let's just go up. We will correct that, Honorable Member. Apologies.
Oh, thank you, Chair.
Let's just go to the last two sets. Oh, it looks like it's the last one. Okay. No, this is the second last one. This is the meeting that was held on the 2nd of December, Tuesday at S12A. This was the meeting where I attended with Dr. Letlape and Honorable Peterson. So it's only the three of us that can adopt these minutes because the rest of our colleagues were not present. So, Honorable Peterson, please can you move for the adoption of this set of minutes?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of the set of minutes.
And Dr. Letlape, you will have to, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I second. And can they just correct the spelling for my surname on the minute?
Okay. Apologies for that. That will be corrected. Colleagues, the last set, please.
Apologies, Chair. There's also one more for the 5th of December.
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much, Ms. Silly. This is Thursday, the 4th of, oh, that must be 2025. We must correct that. With that correction, please. It was a meeting that was held on the virtual platform. We received a briefing by the content advisors and researchers on the overview and analysis of the applications that we received. In attendance, we had Honorable Chauke Adonis, Honorable Shabango Adams Totsetsi, Kanile Mbiko Mkunu, Peterson, Dr. Letlape. Please can I ask for a mover and a seconder? Honorable Chauke Adonis, followed by Honorable Mbiko.
Chairperson, I therefore move for the adoption of these minutes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Whip. Honorable Mbiko.
I hereby second, Chair.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ms. Silly, then we can take the last set. This is the last set of minutes. It was for Friday, the 5th of December. We did the shortlisting. We tabled the report on our shortlisting of candidates for the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. Honorable Chauke Adonis attended, Honorable Shabango, Honorable Adams, Honorable Polwani Tsotetsi, Kanile Mbiko Mkunu Tele, Peterson, and Dr. Letlape. Honorable Tele, do you want to move for the adoption?
I move for the adoption.
Ndosi, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Honorable Tsotetsi.
Thanks, Chair. I second the mover for adoption. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, that is all the outstanding minutes for last year. And thank you very much for going through them and for making the corrections and making alerting us to the errors that were in the minutes. Colleagues, can I ask whether any of you would like to ask any additional questions of clarity before we close our meeting? No. Honorable Tsotetsi.
No, thanks, Chair. I had intended to raise my hand immediately after the adoption of the minutes. You remember on the meeting we had on the 10th of June, for which we have just adopted the minutes. I think it's a meeting which we also were accompanied by the Committee on Police. There are questions in that meeting that we have since posed, including to the department itself of police, for which we have not received responses, and we have also made follow-up to those questions to say that we must be furnished with our responses. I think I've copied Mr. Mvaba on the follow-up that I was making, and to this end we have not received even a glimpse of a response. in that regard. I wonder if there is anything that we can be able to do as a committee, because we were invited to that meeting as participants. It cannot be that we are not furnished with information that we would have requested in the meeting that which we participated in. So I don't know if there is any line of advice on how best can we now handle the matter from the committee. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honourable Tsotetsi. I think that's an important point to raise, because it's no good if we're asking and it was asked in June and we're in a new year now. I think, Ms. Abrams, at one point, we had a similar case where I didn't get a response from the minister. And we actually spoke to the committee secretariat to intervene to help us get those responses. So I'm thinking we should take the same avenue before we actually escalate the matter either to the leader of government business. I think let's first speak to the committee chair and also to his secretariat to alert them that we were invited there, that we posed those questions and we didn't get any responses, and then to give them a deadline by which we are expecting those responses. Maybe when you speak to us on Monday with the monitoring tool, Kashifa, maybe you can just speak to that if that's not a problem. Ms. Abrams?
I'm sure, Chairperson, no problem. So just to be clear, as a resolution for now today, it would be an email for the attention of the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police via the committee secretariat to request urgent update in terms of a meeting, and we can indicate the time as we have not received feedback. That is the first point of call. Is that what we're asking, Chair, in terms of our initial request?
Yeah, we need to speak to the minister's parliamentary liaison officer as a matter of urgency to say that this meeting, we can copy the committee chairperson and his secretariat, but let's direct it to the minister's parliamentary liaison to say this meeting took place, this is the minutes, these are the questions we asked 6 months ago. We are giving a time frame by which we now would like from her or him, the committee, the parliamentary liaison officer, that they furnish us with a response by Monday. And then we just CC Honourable Cameron and his team.
Thank you, Chair. Noted.
Is that fine, Honourable Tsotetsi?
Yeah, I think that should be okay. I just raised my hand to alert the chair that already, already would have written a letter requesting, to Honorable Cameron. I think Honorable Mvaba was also, Mr. Mvaba was also has also received the copy of that letter, where we were raising the same issue to say that we would like their committee to make follow-ups on questions that we would have asked. So perhaps we have passed that stage, and the stage that is relevant is the one that we are talking about now of communicating with the liaison officer and so forth.
Yeah, let's as a matter of urgency communicate with the parliamentary liaison of the minister to get an indication as to why we've not received a response, and to indicate that we want a response by Monday. I see the hand of Honourable Biko and Honourable Chauke Adonis, or are those legacy hands?
Not legacy hands, Chair.
Honourable Biko, yours is a legacy hand or not? Okay. Honourable Chauke Adonis?
Thank you very much, Chair. One of the things that I wanted to raise is the one that Honourable Tsotetsi has raised, and I'm glad in terms of the way forward. The second one, which I've raised even previously, Chairperson, it's in terms of correspondence coming from the portfolio committees from portfolio committees of basic, higher education and from labour. I wanted to know if we have, since that was raised once again, seeing that the meeting that we had a joint meeting with them, was not concluded. Have we received any response to that? Have we received any way forward from the chairpersons who were chairing the session of that joint meeting as well? And what is the way forward? I think it's important, as Honorable Tsotetsi has said, that when we are sitting in meetings, joint meetings, we must be able to do a follow-up and track some of the interventions that I mentioned. But if a meeting is not then concluded, then we must know what is the way forward. So I just wanted to check with you, Chair, once again, whether we've received any correspondence or communication on the way forward regarding that meeting that had not yet concluded. And the way forward was that we are going to have another meeting sitting, and I think it's months later. Chairperson, the last thing that I then wanted to also just highlight here, it's in terms of our travel, and perhaps I'm looking forward. I might just be overstepping in terms of the time of mentioning it now, but if we are able to get an indication of what our study tour application looks like, this just assists us as members of the portfolio committee who might be serving in other portfolio committees to sort of organize and arrange our schedules as well, because other portfolio committees have given us, some of them, they proposed dates or they submitted dates to the chair of chairs and the speaker's office in terms of the study tours. So I just wanted to do a follow-up on that. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chalke Aduanes. On your first question around the meeting that was aborted or it was not finalized, we have not had, I've tried to engage with those two chairpersons in terms of when it will be resumed. They did not indicate a date. Instead, we were invited to a sanitary dignity colloquium that will be hosted by the chairperson of basic education and of higher education. But I will definitely do a follow-up. The idea about Monday's internal workshop as well will be that Ms. Abrams will table to us a M&E monitoring tool. In other words, tracking from our minutes some of the issues that we flagged, some of the information that we're waiting on, sort of to give us an indication of what has been done and what has not been done. So we will definitely deal with that on Monday. Also then to obviously track as we go into the year some of the issues that remain outstanding. Then on the issue of our study tour, last year at the end, Honourable Frolick did have engagements with various portfolio committees in terms of suggested dates. There are some portfolios that wanted to go in January on their study tours. Considering our program colleagues, and I was going to talk to you about that as well in our Monday internal workshop, because the research team did submit or prepare the brief on our study tour to Spain, proposed study tour to Spain and France. It will still, the suggested dates will still be at the end of June when we rise for the constituency period at the end of June. The reason for that is we are currently seized with this National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide process. Then you've seen that it takes us up until the end of March. Then Easter, we've got our Easter break in April. And then as soon as we come back in April, we will have to engage in the process of appointing or looking for new commissioners to serve on the Commission for Gender Equality. So that will be May. So then the first opportunity for us to engage in our study tour will be when we rise after the parliamentary program or the second term in June. That will be the only opportunity, the first opportunity and the only opportunity that we would be able to undertake this study tour, considering also that thereafter, I think Parliament would probably have very limited sittings, considering that we'll go into a election period. But I will discuss all of that, honourable members, with you when we've got our internal session on the Monday. I see again the hand of Honourable Mbiko and Honourable Chalke Aduanes. Honourable Mbiko.
I'm sorry, Chair. I forgot to take my hand down when I was seconding. Okay. I'm sorry.
No problem, Honourable Mbiko. Thank you. Honourable Chalke Aduanes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much for the response as well. The last thing that I actually had forgotten, and I think it's quite important, is for us to have an indication as to whether through the Speaker's office, has there been an advisory to the President indicating, in terms of our timelines, for the establishment of the Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. If I can just get clarity and an indication on that, I think it's important for us to have alerted the Speaker's office through, and for that correspondence to have gone to the presidency as well. Sorry, Chair. Thank you very much.
To alert them as to the processes that we are now engaging in. Yes, we have informed them, Honourable Member. They are aware of the processes that we are undertaking. And as I said, the reason why we are expediting or putting a extra focus on this work now in the first week of Feb is for us to be able to present a report to the National Assembly at the end of Feb, so that it coincides with what the President had said in terms of funding being available at the next financial year. I have been talking to the various chief whips as well, and to the Speaker. So we are all on board that it is a immediate focus area for this portfolio committee. I see the last hand of Dr. Letlape, and then I want to release everyone.
Thank you, Chair. Just maybe for the next meeting, can we be clarified in terms of once GBVF has been declared a disaster, what does that really mean? Unpacking that aspect, what can be the expectations? Does it mean there are extra resources for particular programs, etc., etc.? Because we're going to get asked that it's now a disaster. So what?
Yes.
What are the implications? How do we interact with COCTA on this issue, etc.? So that it should not just be a response that was given to women that were raising issues and now it's gone silent. And we're a committee that needs to be able to answer the question of what does it mean really?
Yeah. Now, the worrying factor, Doc, is that a disaster was declared, and you will recall that the reason why we often look towards a declaration of a disaster is that it comes with the release of additional funds. So in this case, we know that gender-based violence is a crisis, we call it a national emergency, and then it's declared a disaster. So naturally, one would have expected that with that comes the release of additional funds. But I read the disaster declaration, and it made it very clear that there is no additional funds being, it's not a disaster declaration that comes with the allocation of additional funds. So actually, it's a very good point that you are raising, Doc, because I thought before the end of this term, as we engage on the process of establishing this council, that we should invite the Minister of COCTA to come and brief us on the declaration and what it means actually for the fight against gender-based violence. Because what we should caution against as a committee is blanket declarations that actually doesn't mean anything in the fight against gender-based violence. Because if it's a declaration without the funds, we know very well that we have said before that one of the reasons why gender-based violence, why our programs are failing, is because we don't have enough boots on the ground, enough social workers, enough to do Zella care centers. And with that, we require funds. But I'll ask Ms. Abrams to, on Monday, when we've got the internal workshop, just to take us through the declaration and exactly what it means. And I think then we will also we'll write to the Minister of COCTA to see when he can brief us, maybe on a Friday, just to take us through the declaration and what it actually means in terms of the fight. If you're okay with that, Doc?
Well, I'm okay and I'm not okay. I'm disappointed that it's a disaster without funds, which means it's just lip service to the challenge we are dealing with. And I think we need to be outspoken about that, because some of us will begin to speak and it might not be good when things are not clarified.
No, let's do that. We will have Ms. Abrams, our research team, our content advisor, take us through the declaration on Monday in our internal workshop. We will add that as an item. And I will also speak to the Minister of COCTA so that he come and brief us, so that we get the ins and outs on why they decided on a declaration of disaster without additional fund allocation. Honourable Chauke Adonis, do you want to say something else before we close the meeting? Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and what Doc has raised is quite relevant, and I think you've covered me, because I wanted that to be part of our workshop as well, for us to understand the classification and what the declaration entails. So you have covered me. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honourable Chaka Adonis. Thank you, Doug. Thank you all members who participated. Our support team, thank you very much for all the documents and the preparations that you made for our meeting. Colleagues, I'm excited because this morning all of us attended our meeting, even our alternate members attended, so it really gives me a good impression of the work that we'll be doing for the year ahead. As I always say, this is one of the portfolio committees that have got the vastest mandate, and we've got the most work to do. And it's only if we work together, honourable members, if we stand united and if we work together, that we will be able to serve women, youth and persons with disabilities. So thank you very much for attending. We are looking forward to seeing all of you next week in Johannesburg. Ms. Abrams, please just add that item to our workshop on Monday so that we go through the declaration. And I think the monitoring tool will also be important to track some of the outstanding items left over from last year. Colleagues, thank you so much for attending. Have a lovely Tuesday, and we will be in touch, and then we see you on Monday. Thank you, colleagues.
Once again, long live the chair.
The first one for the year, yes.
Bye. See you Monday.